Hi there, it's time again for another week of Atlassian Cloud Changes. And so let's just jump right into it and see what news has happened this week. So let's start with the top changes. First up is the ability to create a mobile app management policy. This is for those of you who have some control issues or if you have people in your company that needs to set up your devices properly, so you can do some restriction and things like that. So for the mobile app now you can go to security, mobile policy, and create mobile policy. And this is part of the Atlassian Access subscription. So good for those of you who have companies that require you to have a MAM policy. Data residency, which means that you can host your data in a specific area, so you don't have to worry about having data in the United States, where for us who live in Europe, it's a bit of an issue. So now Australia have the opportunity then to select data residency. We have for Jira platform, we have the ability now to save your search criteria with filters. So if you are using the issues part of your Jira project, then you can actually save the filter. I have actually never used this myself, but I thought maybe I should show you to see what it looks like so you know what it is. So if we go to a Jira project and you click on issues, so you get your a default view of your project where you have all your issues. So if you make a search for anything up here, and then you can actually save it. You have now a little function up here called save filter. So that's what they mean by the adding then. And if you click here, then you can save your filter just as you would if you go to filters and do an advanced search. So that is saving your search criteria with filters. Let's move on and see what else we can find down here. Another nice feature for Jira software is that you now, in your roadmap, you can roll up dates. So that means that if you have created an epic, and then you create a couple of stories below it in the hierarchy, should you then set an end date for one of the stories, your epic will automatically get that information and it will be extended as well. Next, you can connect a project with a page, and I actually think that we have seen this one before, but apparently this one is new. I could have sworn I saw it last week. But what you can do is in your Jira project, instead of connecting an entire space, you can now connect a single Confluence page. So let me show you what that looks like. So once again, if you go to our demo board, you can now see down here you have your project pages. So if you click that one, I now have connected this one to an entire space. But if I want, I can then click here and I can select in Confluence either a space or a single page. So that's a nice addition. I'm not really sure when you would like to attach a project to a single page, but I'm sure there are use cases for it. So now you can do that. So let's get back to the cloud changes. So let's continue scrolling and see what else we can find. And I think down here now we have this one I thought was a little bit odd. So basically it seems more like an internal comment that you can use a modern global issue create dialog in Jira work management. But it says none because it's already handled. So I'm not really sure what that one means. It's an odd entry. So let's move on. So for Confluence, we can now easily add comments to an entire section of text rather than marking a text and create a comment for that one. It seems to be working a little bit strange. You basically need to have a full, you cannot just, if you have one section, it doesn't seem to work. But let's show you what this one looks like as well. So if we go to a random page, I just created a text page in my personal Confluence space. So now you can see that if I hover over it. Let's see if it works. So now when you go to the right, then you will actually see a bubble that allow you to do an inline comment, just as normal, and it will be for the whole section. You can still, of course, just mark the text as usual and then use the comment and do an inline for just that one. So for those of you now who wants to have a discussion for a whole section, this little bubble now appears for you. So we are back again, and let's see what else we have that they have rolled out. I don't think there was only one more. Yes. And the only thing left on this list for this week is that in Bitbucket, in the pipeline configuration, you now can have a default variable for a custom pipeline. So that was all for this week. I will be back next week again to check on what comes up for next week's Atlassian Cloud Changes. So until then, have a good day.